There we go. We should be audible now.
Hello. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you can hear me and Aegis.
Hello.
Everything look all right? Sound all right?
Yeah, just put you into broadcast. There we go. That should do it.
Cool. There we go. Hello. I'm in your head.
There we go. Well, we should be live and running now.
Okay, cool. Welcome everyone to the office hours.
Yes.
Probably give it a little bit to let people hop in, but feel free to send messages into chat with question marks if you want to ask a question. That way they show up here and we'll get to them. Um, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're here at Dunes, um, having a good time. Hopefully, everyone's having a good day as well.
Yeah.
Just make sure you put a question mark at the end of it.
Really, my message thing looks like. Oh, I see. Because I'm seeing it in uh, the Streamlabs.
Twitch chat?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what they mean. Okay. I thought they meant like for the pin message, but. Huh. I don't think I've seen that before.
Interesting. It is a redeem as well. It's good that I can see it in the chat. It would be pretty cool if, like, event seems
Yeah, I
like
was gonna say we should
an
add that as like a pop up.
wonder if that's something new that Twitch added recently.
Yeah.
If it is,
By the way,
then
if go ahead.
if it is new, then it'll have to be added to I think the thing that handles the API.
Yeah, I was gonna say if people want like extra functions or when we're streaming, that like are doable through chat, just let us know and we can think about adding them. We have a few different versions of the like streaming board that we have on the side. There are versions of it that let people do funny things when the stream is like less serious, and maybe there's some things that we could add to it for some of the serious streams that wouldn't be as impactful. For instance, when people sub, there's like a little it puts your name floating around the area. So stuff like that is definitely doable. So if people want to see some more things like that, just let us know. We can think about it. Yeah, Zico's got some good ones.
Avatar changing redeems, yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah, we could add some of those to like the office streams if people want it. I think that'd be fine, honestly. Or even maybe some of the recap streams, which would be cool too.
An expensive dab redeem, but you can just kill them with a cheap redeem. Okay, that's how it is.
Digo would rather die than dab. It's funny as that used to be my like exit strategy, kind of. I used to just like dab on people and then just disappear from the world. Let's see what we got here. Oh, and uh, we didn't have the channel set up for the questions, but if you have any, we will be happy to answer them here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much anything about Resonite or what we've been up to.
Or even our workflows,
Mm-hmm.
um, just Blender and stuff like that. a lot of what we've been doing has been just kind of like behind the scenes work on tutorial stuff, which we are excited to be able to share at some point in the future. But for now, uh, we're collecting like just more info on it and getting the kind of flow set up. I don't think we can do sneak peeks yet. Um, at some point, we'll probably be bringing in like a few people to do some kind of like testing. Uh, but that's not for a little while. We need to get the actual like setup on it.
Yeah, like we can go over like the technical stuff, what we want the users and what the community wants from this as well, and what we've been taking in for like user feedback and like pain points that people have experienced. I kind of went over that
Mm-hmm.
with multiple streams here and there, kind of like that we're going building through the different flows of like how a user will go into this tutorial. What is the absolute requirements up until the point where a user can choose to just leave the tutorial and join their friends or play games or whatnot, or continue learning
Mm-hmm.
things, and people can come back, either relearn the basics if they want to, or choose to learn any of the more specific things, whether it be like building stuff or like how to manage worlds, how to make an avatar, how to make a world object, how to use the different tools, how to uh, set up things like full body and set up things like the streamer camera that we're using right now. That
Mm-hmm.
definitely is an important thing to cover.
We're
Even
also making sure to use like a consolidated chunk of feedback from the last few years on like the different tutorials that we've made, the different setups and things that people have wanted. So like we consolidated all that info. We're taking into account. We're making sure to take our time so that it's done correctly. I think the current one was a little rushed, mostly because like we wanted to get the platform out um, at the time. But yeah,
yeah,
we do have some questions here now too.
that pretty much answers the first question from Bitcrack IGN. This is the next question from Computer User. Have you made anything cool and silly with the new component? And I don't think they're referring to the consumable component. I think they're referring to that new one, which Fruks added.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that adds the ability of attaching an object to a particular triangle to a skin mesh.
Oh, interesting. I mean, we've wanted to get a like easy equipable thing going, so
That's a project that I've been working on alongside the community to make a system to easily attach like accessories to models, and with that coming up, that's gonna make me have to rethink part of how that thing works. Because right now it attaches to bones, which is still going to be relevant because there's avatars that might not even have a mesh at all. Might be built out of particles or something, or static meshes, which it will be still useful to have that. Because it works off of what are called body nodes. And it's pretty much anything that is like a part of the avatar that puppets your avatar pretty much from like
mm-hmm.
your main body up down to the specific finger ligaments.
It's like bone groups, and each like sub bone group is its own little node.
Mm-hmm. So
We
yeah,
do need to make some new stuff with the new component though. That'd be cool.
I have not messed around with it yet. I just briefly did just to see where it is and to see like how it attaches. And it actually, I'm gonna just quickly make a box here for those just wondering what I'm talking about and such. I'm gonna make a box here. It's gonna be a really small box, but a box nonetheless. All right, place this here. Kind of open it up here. And I'm going to attach a component in this case, if people are wondering where this is located. This new component is under transform and drivers. Yeah, skin mesh positioner. Now opening this up, kind of scale this up even more. This is the component. So, of course, it asks you for your skin. So don't skin yourself alive. That's not what it means. It means the mesh, like the actual model of what it's looking for. So what you're going to need is to basically find your model. So I'm going to just simply do this. God, why did I remember that meme? If those know, will know. Alright, so this is my skin mesh render, or, well, model mesh, whatnot. So I'm going to drag this into the skin right there. Actually, wait. No, I meant to drag the actual, pointing at the name, skin mesh render, not the actual mesh itself. My bad. So, it does not drive anything. What it needs is the position and rotation drive. So, what that means is you drag the position of the object that you want to drive. So I go all the way up here, take the position, and I bring it all the way, holding it, dropping it in the position drive, and right now, well, the box moved somewhere else, and it's on my face. As you can see, it's following a triangle that's somewhere around my eye, specifically my left eye. If I flip the preview for myself, I can, yeah, it is the left eye. So that's what it
Does
does.
it rotate with you? Yeah, it does. You know, it'd be really funny for like Halloween if we set up like a spider web with like connecting points, and each point would just like stick to wherever it hits you, so people could run into spider webs and get like covered in them. It'd
Oh
be funny.
my gosh, that'd be crazy.
Or
Actually,
like
I
you set
don't
up a
think
net launcher, and then you just like fire a net at them.
Spider-Man powers, anyone? Oh my, okay, yeah, that'll be cool. Um, yeah, this component here is gonna definitely have some interesting things going on with it. Um, the reason why it's specifically attached to my eye, though, is because it's going off of the triangle index. Now, any like 3D model has an index of triangles, even as simple as a box. Box is made out of like 12 triangles. So, starting from 0 all the way up to 12, that would be its index. Now, for something like my model, which is about like
Few
what?
100,000.
Uh 45,000, not even 100,000 just for the base mesh. So 0 through 4,580, or 45,183 from 0, even though it has 45,184. It's because it starts at 0.
I wonder what the performance is on the indexing of that whenever like choosing an attachment point is. We'll have to do some like performance metrics on
I'm gonna change the index so that you can see what's going on here. Also, if you notice, it actually moves with blend shapes as well. So say if you have a character that you change like the body shape to fit you or something, or you want something to attach to, say like the chin or something, and it moves via blend shapes or something, and like it just properly attaches the mesh. Right now it's not rotating with me because I did not put the rotation thing in there, but I'm going to quickly do that so you can see that. As well as, of course, you can have the scale be driven. Oh, whoops. Meant to get the scale. Or not the scale, the rotation, yes. Rotate. There we go. Now it's rotating with my head.
Do you happen to know if it is tracking the center of the triangle or a vertex on the triangle?
Likely the center of the triangle, and
Because if
I
the
may
fun
not.
shape stretches the triangle, I guess that might be like if you stretched it a lot, say elongated it, then it wouldn't track it completely, so it would just be on the center of the triangle.
Yeah, it would still be directly in the center, it's just the center has moved. But I'm assuming that this barycentric coordinate is like relative to where that object is on the triangle.
Mm.
I would have to ask Fruks or look that up at least of what that means. Compute parameters. That's new. I'd have to see what that is. But the thing on the bottom there is something that you can plug into using impulses, whether it be via components or for protoflux.
Proxy, right? I believe that's what that's called.
Yes, a proxy method. And of course, with the local position, rotation, and scale, that's just if you wanted to make an offset. So if I made an offset of the z of 1, or actually, you know what, 0.2, now it's slightly above where it should be, 0.2 meters away. This is a interesting component. Something that Fuchs wanted to add in his own time. It's like a
You know what this reminds me of?
hmm?
You ever see Incredibles? And there's that one scene where
Oh
he's got all
no.
those like balls that get fired out of cannons at him that just
So
stick to him. I
someone
want to see
could
someone make one of those in here.
someone did, but they used what's it called? They used the other method I was literally talking about earlier, using the body
The
nodes.
bone one.
But someone literally could do that now
Yeah, I
with
want to see
just the
that with this one.
mesh.
That'd be really funny.
And then using another feature within Resonite where you can not only like lock parts of the like body or that, say if you're sitting in a vehicle or grabbing onto an object, your hand can like lock into place. Using that and like the fact that you can mimic weight by slowing the movement of your hands, they also did that too. Or what like over time, just like restrict your movement like that. Oh man, I still gotta finish like messing around with the so let me get an example of it for the stream. But with like uh locking, I showed this off before, but I was under my projects. There we go. There we go. I cast gun. There we go. Yeah, the ability to like lock a player's hand onto something like that.
Also, computer user, you could definitely do something like that. That's kind of similar to like what this does. You would just build it into your avatar. By this, I mean this little like salt shaker thingy that we made for another component. Um, they were talking about setting something up so that it would automatically put that component on an object so that they could just like attach it to them wherever, which you can definitely do. You just do like a tooltip simulator and just fire it at whatever you're picking up.
Can you spawn that out again? Or did you delete it?
No, it's for him.
Oh, it was above me. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I don't need this anymore. I wonder if I can actually do this. Please tell me, will it work? Can I eat gun? I did. Well, that's one way of cleaning up a world.
So
As
that
long as you don't hit
little
the world itself.
salt shaker is basically a component um, tool that adds the edible component to an object.
As you can see, I did not even like bother removing the tag, the visual. I just made a model just very quick, just for April Fools, and it just works. I mean, like the particles don't do anything. It's just there for show. It's just when I click on something, it does it. I wonder. Oh, hold on. It's gone. But yeah, figured showcase this and what this component does too on stream, since it's brand spanking new. I don't think really not much other places actually done something like that with a damn component. Alright, our next question here is from Revi Plays Games. So any work on the UI, specifically the world browser, definitely needs some work. So we don't really go off of like ETAs for one regards to when things are coming out, but we definitely will let people know when UI is being reworked. Currently, the next main priority has not been announced yet. What needs to be done, or what, yeah. As
Mm-hmm.
there is definitely quite a few different things that are definitely up there in priority. It's just choosing which one is which that will need to be worked on next.
Yep. And if you have any suggestions for it or are running into any particular issues, just make a get up for it because that gets a lot more visibility than like a message here, and it also helps us like remember, oh hey, you know, someone's having this issue, and it also lets us gauge how many other people are also having that issue and how much of like how much attention that it should uh, like pull because we do look at all the GitHubs. It's just we got to prioritize which one is the most immediately like most immediate thing we need to work on. So that helps us gauge the severity of the issue.
Yeah. One neat thing, though, as of late too, is the CI/CD pipeline change for engineering has been like launched and updated, which will help the engineers build better and faster with the features or whatever updates or bug fixes they do.
Just remember, we are a pretty small team, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it takes us a while to get through things, but we get through them
Yes.
eventually.
As Frooks, I just remembered something like too is asking, well, let I mean, we could do something like this, but it just depends on what it is and if we want to do it like that. But computer user asks something I think would be pretty funny to do, although it probably could piss people off too. Would be to wait until the next major feature focus is fully finished, then announce it by being like, "When will this be released?" Right now, actually, we just finished it. Yeah,
I mean, in some cases that happens because we just get so caught up working on things and just be like, oh, by the way, this is done.
yeah. But to kind of like quote Frooks, it's asking exactly when things are going to be done, you'll just pretty much get the answer of like between now and the heat death of the universe. But yeah, once things get like solidified because of what the team's going to be doing next, it will be well communicated.
Yep. I do also want to say, like, the reason why we're so um like not the reason why we're not able to give exact time dates and stuff as compared to like other games or other platforms and software is because a lot of the stuff that we're making here doesn't have a parallel, especially a lot of the stuff that is currently being worked on. Um, like there are a few things that are pretty similar in terms of games, like with how some of the UI is set up or some of the like intricacies around controllers or things like that. But when it comes to like how Resonite works and what specifically we need for the platform, there just isn't another thing out there to use as reference. And so, unlike a lot of other games where you know what you need to make and how to make it, and you can gauge that time, there's not really a thing that we can use to gauge time on because we're kind of just making everything from scratch.
Not only that, but there's like a philosophy that is being done with Resonite compared to just making something just to work.
Mm-hmm.
It could have the possibility of breaking in the future. What Fruits does and what other engineers do is they think about that system and how it would be uh,
Mm-hmm.
not just, when it gets implemented by weeks after, if there's going to be something new that'll be added, 5 months, even 5 years, even. And even if it's like, something that'll eventually be replaced, how easy is it going to be replaced? It has to be easy to be replaced at that point. Kind of like how the Unity rendering engine is now just compartmentalized as a separate process on, well,
Mm-hmm.
on Resonate.
It's like there are a bunch of things that we could probably just plop in that are like pre-made, which would be cool at the time. Like we could just, I think, you know, plop in a renderer, but it wouldn't be the best. It would add a ton of technical debt, and it just, yeah, it's why we take time to try to look at all the options, see if maybe even a self-coded option is better or worse. Um, and so things usually have to be completely customized for what we're doing here.
Should I be concerned?
Oh no, the bird. Where is this bird?
Also, Revi, I suggest copying your recommendations as well to the GitHub. First, like, check to see if like there's a discussion or GitHub issue on the world browser UI, and see if you can just add it in there. If it doesn't pertain exactly to what you've been like talking about, create a new issue. You can even link that other GitHub issue into there. But one thing that is also thought about that we do want to do is a Worlds You're in facet that'll be on your home dash as well. Because not only it'll be a category within the Worlds browser once that gets reworked, it'll also be a facet that people can put in their like facet anchors to swap worlds quite easy. So yeah, that will definitely help a bit too.
Also, we did actually go over that.
Yes, we actually did like kind of. If you go back a bit, you'll see me attaching a cube to my face and going over pretty much every aspect of it. Did not know there was a method proxy thing for it. Don't know what it does yet, but yeah. And also, I still gotta figure out what the that mathematical term in there. That's one thing that Resonite does is it tries to name all the components or uh, parts of the components what they actually are instead of making up names for it under the hood. Things
Mhm.
like UIX or say like the Renderite stuff like that, that doesn't need to, or even audio and photon dust. It's like just the name of the system. But if it's something
Mm-hmm.
that can be described directly, oh, that's what they mean of a bird rapidly approaching our location. Hello, they
There's
approached.
confetti.
They arrived with confetti. Hello.
Oh, that's a lot of peoples. Hello.
Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the stream.
Good to see everyone.
It is the weekly art team office hours stream over here at Resonite.
We're here to answer
Welcome.
your Resonite questions and questions about the art team stuff, what we do, how things work. Feel free to ask a question. Put a question mark on there, and it'll show up on the little board for us. Yeah.
Decoy says hello. We say hello back. Before we go to the next question, I have a question for Heko. Yes, I did hear about a new, like, community-based rendering project. Is it the one that what was it, Double Sticks that is working on it, or am I getting names wrong? Someone, a cat, someone with a cat avatar is making it. I
That's a
think.
lot of people.
I know, but it's like I'm trying to find a.
They said yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Modern Balloony showed me the Renderide. Ooh, has a name now. Interesting. Uh, yeah,
Oh
Modern.
yeah, I think you're streaming your desktop, by the way, like
I know.
rather than the window.
Yeah, it's because I try. Oh, you probably see the hand just moving around. Whoa. Yeah, I. Some reason Renderite does not want to collaborate with me. It just is. Oh, it's
We'll have to check
probably
it out
like
later,
doing this. Ooh,
or maybe the bird can help us later.
there.
Windows jump scare.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna be moving on to Windows or Linux soon. Moving on to Windows. Gosh, I should move on to Windows 7 just as a joke.
oh, no, it's too insecure now. All the older versions of Windows are insecure. There we go. I don't
Just
know how
make
big the
my
screen is.
Linux look like Windows 7. There you go. That's what I mean. What
Hey,
is.
honestly, if I could get Windows or Linux that operated like Windows, I would use
There's two two shaders. One would be water, and another would be better terrain shaders.
See, I would want water and foliage. I want a dedicated foliage shader, because that would make worlds so much easier to build. Oh,
Like, there was a thing that Bravey was trying to do with some, uh, oh yeah, that I already had that out. Terrain. So right now we use a PBS splat, which you can have like up to 4 normal maps that are packed into 4 different textures, pretty much. But one thing that both Ravy and I were trying to do is there a way to tint all the colors of like the whole thing with like different colors or shades? There isn't really a way to do that yet, but it would be really nice if you were able to do so. It would make terrains look less uniform and more, well, realistic and random.
Man, I want a foliage shader so bad. Like we could do some cool grass stuff with it. I I like grass in games. And I have a tool that makes really cool grass in here, but you can't reliably use it with the way that worlds load because it's a bunch of objects. Even optimizing it for that specific use case, um, it's still like it's not laggy. Like you don't lag when using it. Um, it's it just increases the load times of the world. If I can find it, I'll pull it out because it's really cool. I'm gonna go over here real quick. Is this it?
Here is a good
Oh yeah,
question.
here it is.
There we go. We'll get to after Rue brings in and does some lawn care. We're in a tall grass. What are we gonna encounter today? Do we have any Ultra Ball or
Because grass is so
potions?
like fluffy and just nice looking, especially like when it's in the shorter version. Uh, go down here. Here we go.
Wait, crouch in the grass for a minute. Oh, Wild Rue. There we go.
Yeah, like and you can just do grass in a similar way with like a shader, and I guess it would work similar to how the triangle component thing works, where you would just render like a billboard on a triangle in a mesh or a group of billboards on a triangle, and you could do stuff like this without really much performance impact, and then um, I guess you would also have to work in like its use of the frustrum culling, but even then, having one of these on like a simple distance kind of culling thing would be nice. Uh, Grass and foliage just add so much to a world.
Man, like the green against like the tans is interesting.
Oh, rip
Interesting
bitrate.
contrast.
I guess Twitch doesn't like the grass.
Let's go right into the thick of it. We okay. Speaking of making things, we have ourselves a question from a Nadia Shark. Today I will ask you, how do you guys make textures? Want to get into making my own textures? What is your process? It depends on what kind of texture you are making, but
Hmm.
we can go over several different avenues.
Yeah. I make a lot of the textures that we use for materials actually. A lot of the original like ones for the Cloud Home stuff were like done in Substance Painter and a little bit in Blender, depending on what we want. So if we want like a custom normal map, I usually do that in Blender because you can do that in like 2 seconds, literally. And then I'll take that normal map, import it into Substance Painter, and go to town on it with brushes and like masks and stuff, and just kind of make my own thing. Um, like the ones you see here in this world, these are all from Substance Painter. There are some cases where, because like I'm not a 2D artist, like in terms of like actually drawing. So there's some cases where we'll get a image. So like these plants right here, it is a simple image, like that we made into an atlas, and then from there we edited them into what you see for materials. So doing stuff like normal map and like metallic and stuff, those all had to be made. And then we had to also make custom DDS version of this texture, which is honestly that's a very complicated process. Uh,
We covered
but
that
it
quite a bit ago, but I think
yeah.
we should actually make a wiki documentation of this. Would be pretty
Hmm.
good. useful for people to go through.
And what I mean by DDS is that is the bitmaps for the image. So Resonite will make bitmaps for the image like automatically. So most cases people don't have to worry about it. But if we want to squeeze out some extra performance and also have something look a particular way at a certain distance, we had to make our own bitmaps for the image. A bitmap is how detailed the image is based on how far away you are from it, or how big it appears on your screen. Um, and it will change the resolution and the like look of the image. Now, normally, what would happen
Oh,
is it would get more transparent and basically disappear, right? Well, for plants and for gates and stuff like that, we don't want it to fully disappear because then the foliage will look like it's missing. So it's lowering the resolution, but it is not disappearing. It's going solid. That way, when you're really far away, you don't have like all the transparency. It's just solid. So the trees back there are all solid compared to the ones that are like right next to us.
as you can
It just
see,
is
as
manually
I
changing it as well.
change it, it grows more and more solid until it's just completely solid.
And it's doing that like unnoticeably whenever it's operating normally. So even in the like the cloud home, the plants far away from you are just lowering their texture detail because of the custom bitmap.
Yeah. Now, several other ways of doing it. Blender has its shader node system and compositor node system that you can create textures with. There's also programs like Krita, GIMP, Photoshop, and, well, you can even make textures using Microsoft Paint, because
Yeah.
all it is a 2D image. And going for, or even like making
Ooh.
photos of something and then just using it as a, well, texture. Because people
There's
use,
another process too. Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, people use photos to then edit those photos to make actual textures. And for example, Valve goes through like real world, gets like pictures of concrete, wood, plants, etc., and then compiles those, edit those to make them seamless, where they just repeat and tile easily, and then use them for their games, for example.
One
And
advanced thing I want to showcase here is something that we've been trying to do more of recently, and something that I'm trying to get as a standard for a lot of the like official materials. Is you'll see here that this metallic map is green. Right now, this is a pretty simple one, so it doesn't really have any information. I mostly have it on here for like example stuff. But when you're setting up a PBS metallic, you can mix the height map and the metallic map because of the way that the material is coded and how it works and which channel is read for which slot. So you can have like a fully detailed material with multiple maps, but it is using that same texture for a completely different field, allowing you to put two textures into one image and
yeah,
saving space. Yeah, I
texture
already set that
packing.
up for a lot of materials for that building over there. Almost all the materials over there have that set up, and then some of the new objects I've made, including the snowboards for like the Christmas event, have it set up as well.
There we go. Here's another one. Since I made this Tron disc in Blender last month, I took it into Substance Painter and basically exported it using a certain setting to basically pack two different or textures into one. In this case, I did, instead of a height map, I actually did an occlusion map. So it's both in the
Mm-hmm.
metallic and the occlusion. Now, there's some tools that Ryuvi has created to actually edit these things, and you need a dev tool to open this. So I'm going to just do create new, editor, texture packing, and unpacking. In this case, we're going to unpack here.
And
Take
in case you
this.
do have Substance Painter, Gareth 48, a community user, has made some templates on substance painter that you can just download. I believe they're on the wiki, and it'll have it set up automatically to output PBS Metallic and whichever one you want.
As you can see, when actually, I'm going to unpack it again. There we go. Now it's showing it. So here's the red channel. It's completely white. That means it's completely metallic. Green channel, you can see the ambient occlusion detail. And then the smoothness, which is the inverse of roughness. It's right here. It's all in these channels. And you can pack it back into it. I go to the editor, texture packing wizard, and then just dragging all three of these in. Actually, wait, whoops. Let me just do that. This is unused. Okay, yeah, the red channel of that, the red channel of that, red channel of that. Yeah, that works. So in order to pack a texture, you put all the textures that have the color channels in there, then you choose which channel of that texture you want to use. Usually you just leave it as the red channel. And for the alpha channel, or say any of these, you can also invert the colors if you want. In this case, you don't need to. So I'm going to just do that, usually leaving all the stuff together. Theoretically, if I pack this together, this and this are identical. I just unpacked a kind of like a float 3, but a texture channel 3, and then plugged it back in, or channel 4, and then packed in. Back to back.
Also, since that question's going to go to the bottom of the board, but is in preference to right now, the blue channel in some materials is not actually used, or
At
depending
least right
on which
now.
slot. Yeah, depending on which slot you're looking at, it's not used. So, like the metallic channel doesn't use like the blue channel, I believe. Or
There's a
no, I just
creature
use
in
the
the
green
grass.
channel. Oh,
Where?
It's a bird in the grass. Where did they go? Oh.
Where'd they go?
Oh. Hi.
Oh, hi.
Okay, that's found. Discovered.
Deep sea creature spotted on land.
There we go. Almost
We got
lost.
some more questions here too.
I'm so excited
go
about the new grass. Yay.
What? They float away.
And they're gone. Let's see here. Oh, here's a question. Source 2, Renderite 1. Someone else can do it, technically. I mean, people have been making their own rendering engines from the ground up, as per mentioned. And as, what was it? With the requirements that we have for a new renderer to go to, unfortunately, Source 2 won't fit the bill. Mainly because it's not open source. But it will be pretty cool for someone to mess around with, and I mean, no one's stopping them from plugging it in their own client. So, yeah. From what I remember, last time I saw that, what was it? Renderide, like render that Double Sticks is making, I saw that it had like the very basics of like textures, but mostly like base material colors, the shininess and metallicness, and like basic lights stuff, like point lights, spotlights, directional lights, but no light cookies yet. That's pretty cool that a rendering engine is being made from the ground up and using Resonite to experiment with it. That's cool. Now, another question from Modify ARG. Are there plans to remake the streaming camera UI? Yes. Is the current one hard coded? Yes. And needs the engineering to work on it first before we even start working on the visuals. That is correct.
Yep, it'll be a while. All of that needs to be turned into a data feed, and then we need to spend time thinking about how it's set up, and then build it. And yeah.
Ravi's been delving into data feeds as of late too, so they could even potentially help with something like this too, at least for the data feed part. Now here's a question for you, Rue. What is your avatar? Is it a main wolf?
Yes, that is why my legs be long. Main wolves are these funny creatures. They're neither wolves nor foxes. They're kind of just their own thing. They're like barely in the Canis family, and they're omnivores, but actually eat quite a lot of fruit. So much so that they named a fruit after them called the wolf apple that they like to snack on. And they live in like the tall grassy areas of, I think it was South America, and they're like slightly endangered. So I like to, call attention to them. They're just fun creatures, and they have extremely long legs. Like it's a real animal that just it looks like a dog, but it's about as tall as a deer, um, and very long stick-like legs, and make funny sounds.
Long creatures.
Mm-hmm.
This question from Rebelo. More of a general question instead of art, but would it be possible to have the Resonite streams uploaded to an RSS feed like a proper podcast? Going to YouTube for VOD is definitely annoying sometimes for background play.
I don't even know what an RSS is. I'm sorry.
I am not sure about the feasibility of that on our end, but I do know we did set up a new secondary channel just for VODs and streams.
Mhm.
So
Does YouTube do those?
What?
There are RS feeds like for like I guess would be YouTube Music,
I
right?
well, Mike. I mean, I guess the question is, if you want an RSS feed, we could potentially make one that just links to the YouTube channel. We don't have the infrastructure right now to make like a custom RSS feed of anything because we don't have an infrastructure to host the videos. So I unfortunately there's nothing we can do there unless like we set up a whole thing. So I don't know if like the feasibility of that right now. We got a lot going on, especially engineering wise. That's
yeah,
just more servers we have to
What
set up.
what is an RSS feed?
It's kind of like a blog. Like you go to a blog and there's a button to click RSS. Which it's like a subscribe. It's like a subscription, right? You click
Mm,
RSS and then it shows you all the posts in chronological order.
interesting.
ah,
Not very used that much. Many sites still support it, but it's not very used nowadays.
Actually, you know what we should do is make a playlist out of the office hours. Like each office
Yeah,
hour be a playlist and have them categorized
yeah.
in that.
There will be YouTube playlists.
yeah. On the second channel, we'll be migrating stuff to it.
And I think we answered that next one because that was during the material thing.
Oh yeah, yeah, we did. Heckoyas asks, might be the wrong stream, but is the fur material supposed to be able to have varying thickness? For me, when I give it a grayscale map, it ends up as binary, all the fur layers or no fur layers.
So the way that material works is there's a couple different masks. I believe the one that you're talking about there, that shows where fur will pop up, but the actual thickness of it, I believe, is in the sliders or the values for those things. And it does thickness in a really odd way because it's not an actual mesh, right? It's just layers of meshes. So its thickness is how far apart those meshes are from each other, or those layers.
I think it also considers things like transparency as part
Mm-hmm.
of the mesh. So if I make this material here and then add like a noise texture onto it that has alpha on it, assets, procedural textures, noise texture,
I'm not sure if the procedural ones work on the fur texture.
and it should. Never seen this in particular before. There's your answer. It's
Yeah,
a
there you
ball of multicolored fluff.
Spiky.
go.
Actually, let me get the material, what it looks like.
When the pufferfish appears.
It goes poof. It's a dandelion, but with rainbow.
It's like the Horton Hears a Who little puffball.
Oh, that Resonite logo looked closer in the stream camera compared to like
Yeah,
all the
that's
way over
it's a little bit
here.
of way. Someone said like Resonite themed like arrow theme, and I was like, that just reminded me of the little ball we had.
Yeah. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I mean, you can technically make your own like
I love the arrow
facets
themes.
and stuff like that. Ravi's been experimenting with a new UI style that is like taking what Apple has been messing around with liquid glass, but also doing what Arrow has been doing for like readability and stuff like that. So kind of combining like the new style of what they were doing, but with the old Arrow style, where it
I don't know
has
if
like
it's the nostalgia or what, but I love that theme.
it's more brighter,
Like
it's more like bubbly, I guess you could call it too, because it literally looks
it
like
just
a
seems
bubble.
fun. It just reminds me of like fun, like the definition of fun. Like the glossy kind of like glass looking stuff, all the bright colors, and just like it just feels like there's stuff going on, and it's like in a good mood. I like vibrant colors; they're fun.
There's a portal mod which basically makes the entire environment that.
Oh, whoops! I'm grabbing
I gotta
trying to
check
move the
that out
medical
at some
plants.
point.
There we go.
But yeah, folks still have any questions? Feel free to ask them in chat.
Is that little bag new? I don't remember seeing that on
Yeah, I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. It's gonna hold some snacks.
you. Some
My
snacks.
snack bag. Yeah.
About 5
Have you
more
seen the
minutes. There we go.
Have you seen the little funny tool that they just made for April Fools?
I have not. But
Uh,
but
Careful with that, by the way. So like
oh
use it on an object, like salt shaker it onto an object.
Click it with your laser.
okay, I see. And then they can just like
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
You
okay,
can
so
do that
like
with anything,
the material.
including the world. So be careful. Just a
Universal
safeguard on it.
Me when I
universal
use
sea
it into
salt.
space and eat my keyboard.
Oh no. I ate what if I ate the camera?
Oh my goodness.
Nah, I wouldn't do that. Maybe when the stream ends. I don't know. We'll see.
Maybe when I get hungry
Modify
as a snack.
ARG asks, is there a way to bake normal maps in Resonite?
Technically,
And
yes.
but not in the traditional baking of a normal map way. Like it doesn't actually do any of the like normal calculations or any of the math behind that. It's just like combining images or Photoshop style.
applying a matte cap of a normal on an object that you're trying to make a normal map of. And then I've done it before for the islands in the background of the tutorial, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So you either apply a debug material and tweak the values on it to get the normals looking correct, and then put like a neutral normal map blue in the background, and then you take the picture of like a cutout image first, and then of the normal map version of it, and then maybe turn down the lights of the entire world except for the structure, for example, or island, and then take a mission map as well, like that, and then you have yourself at least 75% of all the stuff for like a PBR
No
setup.
map. Yeah.
Is all that. All you would need is to color the stuff that are metal, non-metal as different solid unlit colors. Take a picture of that, and then do the same thing with like smoothness as well. And then you
I
combine them.
I would highly recommend just doing it in Blender though, because for one, Blender is free, so pretty much everyone has access to it, and it's pretty universal. And when you're making normal maps in Blender, a pro tip is you can actually set the render threads to like 1 or 0. I think in the modern version right now, it sets it to 1 if you set it to 0. But when you're baking normal maps in Blender, it doesn't use the renderer at all. But if you have any like threads allocated to it, it'll still like try. But if you set it to 1, it'll literally bake any size normal map, even if it's like 4K or more, in like 2 seconds or less.
This is all I have to say in regards to like texturing and blendering. Baker Node add-on.
Also, UV squares.
That too. Those two go together. And UV Packmaster Pro.
Yeah,
If you got the funds for it.
we use a lot of those all the time. There's also another one that I started using recently for a few projects, like the rocks behind us. That was called Remeshify, I believe, and it's free now. It used to cost money, but now it's just free.
Ooh.
Was it Remeshify? No, it was a Q Remeshify, I think, right? Something like that.
That was one of them. Modify ARG also asks, I love Blender. Do you all ever mess with the VR mode in Blender? A while ago, like a year or 2 ago, I wonder if they added anything new, because like there used to have been a Blender add-on that was having the ability to actually model in VR, but then the developers started to just only work on Maya, which was their other, the same thing but also for Maya, thinking that the VR Blender like additions that Blender themselves were going to do were going to be what they're doing. Unfortunately, last time I checked, it wasn't that yet. It was just viewing the scenes in Blender and not doing it in VR, which I'm thinking they're missing an opportunity there. Because I would love to be able to imagine rigging or even just manipulating vertices in VR.
I don't want to mention rigging at all.
Well, rigging in VR would honestly be better than desktop.
My avatar was a nightmare to like do the weight painting on, and like some of the rigging, because each each hair on my mane, like each tuft, has 2 bones in it, and each bone had to be positioned and weight painted. There's like over 400 bones.
To answer your question, Ravi, I am not sure why I'm streaming in 720p. Might be because for some reason Renderite is not wanting to cooperate with my Streamlabs. it just shows a black screen for me. I don't know why. So I'm just streaming my desktop view, at least right now. Here's another question related to Blender and renders. Eevee Cycles render or Cycles render for Resonite? Cycles, that's ray tracing. Say goodbye to your frames. But
It would be
Eevee,
so nice though.
yeah, it would. It would pretty much have everything we need, but also licensing, even though it's free.
I wonder what Fruits would say to like a uh a Reso Link version for like Blender, because we have one for Unity, right? So I wonder how hard it would be to get one for Blender. That way
Someone
you could
made
have the world scene in there too.
someone made one. And I know Jack the Fox Hunter was making another as well too. So I have to see. There was one made back in the MMC contest, I think, or right after it. Mark those. Brute Bandit VR asks, I haven't seen you in a long time. How do you activate the VR mode in Blender? I'm curious. Also, welcome to the stream. Uh, I'd say look it up because I did mention earlier I have not looked at their VR stuff for years, knowing that they didn't add the features I thought they would add for VR compared to third-party add-ons that messed around with VR. So I kind of just lost interest in it for a while. So yeah, I'll have to see. Wonder what they're gonna do next. I know they're doing like sign distance field stuff at some point, like parametric modeling, which would be interesting. I wish your luck into learning Protoflux, Brute Bandit. There's definitely a lot to learn. A lot of things you can make nowadays since the last time I've seen you. Here's a question. Let's see here. What time do we got? Yeah, this will probably be the last question for the day by the Red Neko. Quick question, Brew. Are you planning on making more plants in the future? Perhaps a Gary Oak, Oregon style white oak?
So I would like to make more plants. Um, However, making plants takes an incredibly long amount of time because not only do we have to set up like the atlas for that particular set of them, because when I do plants, I usually do a set of plants and not just a single one on its own, because we're usually making a big scene out of it, and it's just easier to do it that way and more performant if you're going to be using a similar plant type pack, right? So I would make a kind of style of plants that go with those if I was making for that specific tree. But like I said, it takes a long time because not only do we have to set the maps and the materials, we also have to set up the custom DDS, which is an entire whole process that needs like an entire 3-hour video on how to do. Um, but there's also the thing where I know that all the plants that we have right now, including just some of the fun ones like the grass here, once we get that new renderer and have like different rendering techniques for foliage, all the current plants are going to become tech debt that we have to remake. So the more packs I make, the more work we're going to have later on. But I will release more plants if we end up making more plant packs, depending on your use cases.
Some like thing at least about like updating content within Resonite. It's easy to do that. So yeah. So even when say new techniques come out, it's easy to replace or easy to update current content.
Well, I mean, replacing them in here is definitely easy, but not like remaking all the materials for the specific shader or whatever that needs to be done later on.
Thing about like custom maps and stuff like that, Redneck, is it's not really as much documented as it should be. One of the things we're thinking about doing eventually as well, before we go, is making a guide for the art styles and like the building process that we have for Resonite content. At least like how we approach things. whether it be things like building models, assets, worlds, UIX, stuff like that, or even like the design philosophy and style that we have. Seeing like how games like Hytale create these kinds of guides for players to make modded content for their game, it would help the community greatly with wanting to learn how we build our content. Albeit, like, technically, some of it is still like evolving over time as we build things, as we learn new techniques, ways that we've never thought of like years prior, but still
Mm-hmm.
like the same basis is still there. That's something we want to like have people know and learn from if they want to make something in our style.
Also, yeah, there is no video. I was just mentioning that like if someone made a video about custom DDS stuff, it would probably take 3 hours. Um, it's the current process that we use for that right now is so incredibly specific that literally I don't think any other game or platform or system uses it because it was made specifically for Resonite's use case. With the help of of a community member named Gareth48. Um, I believe they do want to make some documentation or better documentation on how to do it because right now it requires like a specific slash custom plugin for GIMP that may or may not exist anymore right now, or very specific like command line arguments that you have to like type in, even on Windows. I mean, like to create the file itself, the DDS, and then another Bislobo program for GIMP, just so you can like open it up and edit it.
A lot of
It's
this,
pretty involved.
yeah, a lot of this stuff people take for granted in other like rendering engines and stuff or game engines because it's done automatically at this point. But with the fact that you can make your own, you've probably seen custom maps done before using this process. The only other example I can think of is using custom spray images in games like Team Fortress 2, for
Yeah,
example,
there might
where
actually be some tutorials on how to make those files in reference to TF2 if you want to see if there is any on YouTube.
yeah, because some people make some pretty interesting funny ones too, where it looks different until you go close to it. So
That is essentially the same thing as what we're doing in here, just used to make a GIF.
yeah.
Um, is that was that it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I
Yes.
think for us. Let's get
Yeah.
out the panel.
Yep.
This one. Here we go.
Yes. And as
We just want to say.
always,
Hmm?
yeah. Thank you to all of our supporters, whether it be Patreon or Stripe or get bits and like subscribers on Twitch. Thank you all. This right here shows our top supporters here, and there's plenty more where that came from.
This list
And
gets bigger and bigger.
yeah,
We're
this
only gonna get to
updates.
the names, so this is the cold version.
More.
Yeah, this updates every time you spawn it out. It checks if there's anyone new, and like, thanks to you all to actually making all this possible for us to continue creating this platform, making it better for everyone, and keeping it a place for people to have a virtual home in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's your head.
Thank you for everyone coming out, and we hope you have a good day.
Tune in next week for the office hours. About the same time when we start, and check the calendar for all the other events. Y'all have a good one, and bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Whoa.
What?